New lore drop, guys. The source of the Nox virus is the trees, because zombies sprout out of trees now. Jokes aside, let's get to a change that happened in Build 42 Unstable that could disturb the way you play. In Build 41, other than a few specific areas like Rosewood, the hidden military base, and around the big mall, there are a few zombies in the trees until you reach the very edges of the map. That's if you are using the urban zombie spawns. Only psychopaths would select uniform spawns. Once you push past the initial bit of zombies surrounding a town, you are pretty much safe in a forest, aside from a few event spawns that place zombies anywhere, like the zombies eating a corpse spawn. In Build 42 Unstable, the forest has a consistent coating of zombies. I only noticed this when I went to check out the Rat Race Community Challenge and realized walking through the trees of the zombies is not viable in the same way as before. In fact, you tend to gain followers by walking through trees. Here's a mostly empty field as usual, but the second I go into the trees, you can see a fair few of them appear on the debug population map. The fun part is how you can tell which biome is spawning them via the foraging menu. Farmland. Forest. The really fun part is how the spawns aren't set by the normal spawn settings. So while I initially thought this was caused by the Rat Race challenge using times 16 spawns, it turns out that's not true. Whether you change the easy settings up here, or do the custom ones down here, the amount that spawns in the full cell of forest remains around 40. Unless you switch it to none, because that prevents any zombies from naturally spawning. The actual location of this spawn setting is in the map files for each biome. Hopefully it'll be in the sandbox settings in the future. Earlier I said playing with zombies set to the uniform setting is for psychopaths. Yet if you look at the map, you'll notice a lot of trees. In fact, it's mostly trees, so that's a thing. Also, it's a bit of a cruel joke to fill the forest up with zombies during the update that lets you abandon civilization. You may have even noticed, as you drive from one spot to the next, the roads start to fill up with zombies for no apparent reason. That's the tree zombies. Only some of them though. You have to get near their spawn points for these zombies to spawn. If you are aware of how zombies spawn in buildings, it's similar to that. For example, you can crank up the numbers that spawn and sit on the edge of a forest blasting a shotgun all day, but none of them will come out until you first spawn them in. It's this part that changes the way you have to play, as most players would assume they can honk their horn a few times to make the forest safe, but in reality they have to go patrol through it to spawn the zombies first. Chopping trees is unusually dangerous compared to Build 41, as you will be spawning zombies when you walk up to the edge of the forest for the first time. If you happen to hate this change, a modder has already removed it. Everyone pause for a second to thank the devs for making this game so modifiable, and the modders for making everything we can dream up. One last thing. I can see an alternate playstyle if we do gain easy control over this biome-based zombie spawning mechanic. For example, you can make the towns deserted and under siege by an endless horde coming from the trees. Imagine future Build 42 multiplayer and players trying to travel through the hazardous forest roads to their friends. It's got some potential to be a fun sandbox setting, particularly as a setting for runs in the procedurally generated lands outside of the main map.